So thanks for joining me. Let's get this happening. I want to share with you what I've got, and I want to make sure that we are all on here. Looks good. Yeah, let's do it. The 5 best exercises for weary travelers. I have always been someone who exercises while they're on vacation, and a lot of my vacations have been focused around activity, like a ski vacation or a rafting vacation or hiking and camping or something like that. And even if your vacation doesn't look like that, you're doing a little bit of a pool hang, you can still get some really great exercises in that are not just exercising for the sake of exercising or exercising so that you're going to be fit and all that. That's great. But when you're on vacation, you might not want to hit the gym so hard or have that much time, but your body needs to be stretched and moved and allow for that release of tension that can build up from sitting on long flights or being stressed out because you're traveling or sleeping in a crunky bed or something that you're not used to. So let's figure out how we can give our body that physical break that it's needing on vacation without taking all that travel stress with us physically. We don't want to build that up and then feel like we have to have a vacation from our vacation because we were so, physically tired and stressed out. That's not what we want either. So before I get into it, let's just take a moment to calm ourselves down. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Exhale, and I want you to really feel that all the way down as far as you can into your lower abdomen. I know that your lungs stop somewhere in the middle, but we want to feel that expanse and that release all the way through our torso, back, front, top, bottom. Most of us just breathe right up here, and it is not good. So nice and long and deep. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Hold. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Hold. And exhale. Does that feel good? That's 4 count breath. Inhale, hold, exhale. 4, 4, 4. That's all you need. Do that as many times during the day as you can. Do that while you're driving to your destination on vacation. Do that while you're at the airport or wherever you are. Yes, it's easy to breathe. Yes, you can do it. Yes, it makes a huge difference in your entire physiology and how you handle stress. I cannot say that enough. I tell my high performance coaching clients that all of the time. You should be doing your breathing exercises, and I get answers like, well, I don't know if I'm doing it right. You are. You're doing it right. Conscious breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do it. It doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Just a conscious breath can change everything. Okay, so that's one exercise, but it's not part of what I'm really talking about today. So first up, I want to show you the forward bend. Now, these exercises that I have here for you, let's just let this load up for a second. I hope it works for me. It worked the other day. You can find these on yogajournal.com. That is where I go for yoga instruction and the like. I want to make sure that this is muted. There we go. So with yoga, don't feel like you have to do it perfectly the way the model does. Yes, there are certain things that we need to observe and postures we need to, to work towards, but a little bit is better than nothing, and you don't have to do it perfectly. In fact, nobody really does it perfectly. The fact that you do it is what's important. So standing up nice and straight and tall, step apart with your legs, knees and hips aligned, and she's bending forward at the hips. She's not hunching over with her head. She's bending forward at the hips, and then hands down on the ground. This one really releases the hamstring in the back of the thigh and the lower back, your quadrilaterals, your sacral area. Now, if you can't get your hands down on the ground, you can use a prop like a yoga block, a squishy yoga block, or something else so that you don't have to go down all the way to the ground. Sometimes putting a chair in front of you so that you can rest on that is a good alternative. And now you notice that she's walked her hands in further, so in between her feet, keeping her spine nice and straight as possible in this position, and her knees not locked but straight. Now, you may not be able to get this deeply into this position, and that's okay. But you're really going to notice how everything lengthens and releases with this forward bend pose in the lower back and hips especially. I know when I sit for long periods of time, more than an hour or so, my hips start to get tight. You should be getting up once an hour, take a break once an hour, whether you're working or, like today's topic, on vacation. Get out of the car, get up on the plane, walk around, do something for a few minutes, and then get back on again. Now you notice when she comes out of this pose, she raises up flat from the hips. It's like there's a hinge on the hips. It's not hunching over or anything like that. So that's that's a standing pose for lower back. And now I want to show you some shoulder openers. I love these. You can do these anywhere. You see she's got some props here, but really you don't need hardly any props to do yoga. Oops, let's get these ads off. Sorry, guys. All right, so she is actually going to sit on that little block, and that really can help. You do not have to sit in this position to do these exercises. You can sit from your chair. You can even do them from the driver's seat or an airplane seat. So don't get hung up on, oh, I don't have the right props, so I can't do yoga. Bullshit. I call bullshit-o-meter on that one. So she's going to start by clasping her hands and then raising them straight up, and elbows to ears, straight on up with a really straight spine. Again, you may not be able to get this far back with your hands clasped. If you're here, that's fine. If you're here, that's fine. If you're here, that's fine. Yoga is not about competition. It's about tuning into your body and holding poses that will help you to strengthen, be more flexible, and release tension. That's it. Now you'll notice that she is crossing one arm in front of the other at the elbow, and then just simply lifting her hands up, and they are kind of intertwined inside of each other. Don't be super focused on, am I doing this right? What you really want to be feeling is an opening in your upper shoulders, upper back area. Notice how her spine is very, very straight. And then release and switch with the other arm over top in that little crook there. Again, you might not be able to really get into this position fully. Do the best you can. If it's just a shoulder hug, that's enough to start getting some spreading and some opening. You can see how her shoulder blades are spreading out and releasing here in the trapezius muscle and rhomboids. You don't need to know all the muscles either. And now she has clasped her hands behind her back and is lifting them up from the floor. Now, again, if you can't get into this position, take a nice little dish towel and hold it behind you, or maybe you have a yoga strap or something like that, and hold it behind you. So if your hands can't clasp, you can still grab something and get the opening in the shoulders and especially this front of the chest. I talked a couple of weeks ago about upper crossed syndrome, where we're too hunched over, driving, typing, texting, chopping, whatever we're doing, and we really need to open up. Here's one of my favorites, reverse prayer hands behind you, where she's kind of nestling her hands right up the spine. Again, if you can't get this deeply into the position, don't worry about it. Try it out. See what you can do. But this, like, it's like a blade pressing into your spine and your shoulders with your hands. And it really helps to like open up that tension and squish. You want to squish these muscles, and you also want to open them. All right, so there's our shoulder openers. And believe me, everyone can do these exercises to some degree, and everybody needs them desperately. All right, next up, hip openers, because our hips can get really tight when we're sitting for long periods, traveling, or whatever we're doing. So this one, bound angle pose. Again, don't get super concerned about the names either. It's just very simple movement. So she's sitting on a cushion. Her legs are straight out in front of her, and spine is straight up. And then she's just taking the soles of her feet, putting them together and pulling them as close as she can in towards her pelvis. Again, spine is very straight. She's got her hands back at her hips, kind of in the back, sort of supporting, so that her back can be very straight up, and she's getting a nice opening through the inner thigh and inside of the hip. Again, only do this one as far as it's comfortable for you, and give it a little small, gentle stretch. Nothing major. We don't want to hurt ourselves while we're trying to help ourselves, right? Stretching in yoga is a very gentle, gradual thing that develops over time. Don't feel like you have to do this. Now, as she's leaning forward, she's bending directly at the hips. She's not hunching over. Her spine is very straight, and she's using her hands, or maybe you have a yoga block or something out there so that you can support yourself and don't have to get so deep into it. As she's leaning forward, she's getting that hip opening and also another release in the lower back. And you can even do a little bit of a shoulder stretch with this one. So this pose is one of my all-time favorites. And it really gives you a lot of bang for your buck. It feels so, so good. And just hold it for a minute or two and come out of it, as with all of these poses, and then go back into it and feel the stretch some more and gently come out of it and go back in maybe a third time and hold it as long as you can. In Iyengar yoga, we hold poses for a long, long, long time rather than having so much flow. Either way is fine. Each of these poses can be done individually or as a little, mini series, however it works best for you. But I really encourage you to try these out, string them together. This one, easy pose with a twist. So easy pose, she's just sitting, oops, here, let's take these ads off again. Sorry, guys. There we go. Legs straight out in front of her, heels stretched out, toes up, and then coming into a cross-legged position. Spine is straight, hands are right next to you at your sides, supporting you on the floor. And as the name implies, she is going to twist her torso in one direction and then the other. So inhaling, and then on your exhale, making that twist happen, where she's going to have one hand go over to the opposite knee and look over her shoulder all the way to the back. And it's a gentle twist and an exhale. I love this one. And actually, I find that when I'm in the car, if I do this one in the driver's seat and use the steering wheel as a little bit of a prop, so to speak, I can get a deeper twist. Very gentle, very easy. Spine is straight. And then she looks over that shoulder. And then on an inhale, come to the center, and she's going to switch her twist on the next exhale and go in the other direction. Oh my goodness, does that feel so good? Again, you might not be able to do this as fully of a twist as she's doing it. That's fine. Do as much as you can and really feel where that tension is and feel it releasing as you do these movements. And this one, I move in and out of this one several times and switching sides. And you can also do different versions of this one on the floor as well. But I'm not going to do that today. Legs up the wall. For some reason, I couldn't find this on Yoga Journal, so we're going to let this girl kind of show us legs up the wall. And let me just skip ahead here. She's got a folded blanket. You don't have to have a special yoga blanket, just fold up a blanket or a towel on the floor to kind of support your chest, and it helps to kind of open and release the hips a little bit as you support it under you. And I just want to get a little bit farther into this video here. She chit chats while she gets into position, and I think this is all pretty self-explanatory. And if you get my download, then you will have these instructions all queued up for you. So you can see how she positions. This is basically just the same position we were sitting in on the floor, except just turn it around. It's like you're sitting on the wall basically and using the floor for support. So she's got her blanket underneath her lower back and supporting that low back arch, and then legs right up the wall. Just get right up in there. This actually, like the torso twist, major body squish, your spinal fluid column, it has special fluid in the spinal column. It needs to be squished, like wrung out like a dishcloth. Plus your internal organs benefit from being twisted and wrung out, sort of, and it gets the blood flowing better and toxins moving and that kind of thing. So with this one, it's actually forcing your body to pump blood up your legs. And if you've been sitting in a car for a long time, the blood can kind of, you know, swell up around your ankles if you've been in one position for too long. And this one beautifully counteracts that. And it's really easy. I do this one in my bed. I just flip it around and I put my legs up the wall and use my pillow and just sort of lay there for a few minutes. It's really nice and gentle, but it'll help drain some of that static fluid from your lower limbs and get some fresh blood and lymph kind of moving around. And plus it really helps to drop your nervous tension, and, you know, all that anxiety just sort of floats off with this position. So I encourage you to hold this for as long as it's comfortable. And again, you might not be able to get as straight or as, you know, flat against the wall as she is, but it's okay. Do the best that you can. All right, gals, that is what I have for you. I really hope that you find ways to work these exercises into your vacation plans. So whether that's, you know, I always find 5 or 10 minutes when I'm outdoors somewhere, if you're at a park or, you know, at the beach or whatever you're doing, and I do some gentle yoga, whatever feels good for me. I've been doing yoga long enough that I can just, you know, feel and do some poses and know what I'm doing. But these 5 poses right here, plus a little bit of walking every day and some breathing exercises, are going to keep you energized, are going to lower your stress levels, hopefully making you feel like you actually had a vacation and that you're ready to come back to, you know, normal life and hit that grind in a less grindy manner, because that's really what vacations are for, is to help us remember how we need to slow down, how life wasn't really meant to be so hectic, so stressful, so go. We're missing it. We're missing our lives by allowing ourselves to live that way. And the only one who can bring yourself back is you. So make sure that when you get out there and you're going on vacation, that you are checking in on island time and punching out on that capitalist productivity clock. It's not beneficial to be on all the time. It's actually a recipe for disaster, burnout, overwhelm, depression, anxiety, fatigue, and a myriad of problems if you don't stop it at that point. So please, please, please go on vacation, have a fantastic time, be safe, and exercise a little bit along the way. Your body, mind, and spirit will thank you. I want you to tune in with me next week because I'm going to be talking about how you can stay out of the drive-through while you're on vacation. I'm great at this, although, a little drive through here and there isn't the worst thing. But if you are constantly giving yourself bad food while you're on vacation, you're not going to feel great when you return. You're going to feel bloated and icky and sluggish and gross. And we don't want that either. So stay with me next week while we talk about that. And until then, be well, enjoy the springtime. It's fantastic where I am, and I hope it is where you are. And I thank you for joining me. Be well.